Hey guys, today we're in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 29. Now Saul just found out that he's about to die, that Israel is about to be taken over by the Philistines, and now the Philistines had gathered and they're ready to go into war. I mean, they're in the Jezreel Valley. They are in the middle of Israel. They are ready to go to war. And it says that David and his men were passing on in the rear. This is amazing that you have David, who's going to be the king of Israel, is now leading the Philistines to defeat Israel. So you can just see how one sin after another sin after another sin has just led to this horrible circumstance. But notice what happens. It's not that David comes to his senses. It's the Philistines that point this out. In verse 3, the commander of the Philistines said, "What are these Hebrews doing here? What is David and his mighty men doing here with us? They don't serve our God. They serve another God." And the king of the Philistines says, "He's been with me for years. I have found no fault in David. David has been living as a Philistine. I have nothing wrong with him." And even in verse 6, it says, the king called David and said, "As the Lord lives," talking about as Yahweh lives, as the Lord of Israel lives. Now, this is not what Philistines would say. Maybe David has kind of rubbed off on the Philistine king, or maybe he's just added Yahweh to the other gods, Molech and some of the other Dagon and some of the other gods of the Philistines. But here we can just see what's going on. But the generals of the army, the lords, verse 6, the lords do not approve of you. The king of the Philistines says, "I have no problem with you. You have served me well. But my generals, they kind of hate you and they don't want you. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back and just so that my generals are ready for war." But notice what David says, verse 8. This is a crazy verse. David said to King Achish, "What have I done?" David wanted to be blameless to the Philistines. He didn't see this as God was working. He didn't see this as he doesn't have to go into battle and kill Israelites. He didn't see any of that. He wanted to be blameless in front of the Philistines, not blameless in front of the Lord, right? So you can see after years of living with the Philistines, his heart has moved towards their direction. And Achish answered to David, "Hey, I know you did all this. I know you're great, but you need to go back." Verse 11, so David set out with his men early in the morning to return to the land of the Philistines, but the Philistines went up to Jezreel. So they head back, not head back to Israel, not escape. This would have been a great time to escape, but they go back to the land of Philistines. We can see here that David has just completely gone down a rabbit hole that is not good. I hope that makes a little bit more sense. We'll see you tomorrow in chapter 30. God bless.